when my mom was dying of cancer in 1981, our two daughters were one was 3 years old and the other had just been born. I grew up in a non-Christian home. I came to Christ as a teenager, and I had the privilege of leading my mom to faith in Christ. We were very, very close, but now it's, fast forward, it's 1981. She's dying of cancer. Well, every day by her bedside, I would read to her the last two chapters of the Bible, Revelation 21 and 22. And what hit me as I would read this for several months until she died, as I would read these passages over and over again, I realized how tangible they were. They're talking about the new earth, the new Jerusalem. They're talking about the walls made out of these precious stones. They're talking about the street going through the city. They're talking about a river that flows through the city, and the tree of life that we've last seen on earth in Eden, that we were cut off from because of sin and curse and death and all of that. There's the tree of life, but now it's not just this single tree. It says it grows up on both sides of the river and produces a new fruit, a different fruit every month. Obviously a fruit to be eaten and partaken of. And so now you have these trees, tree of life, but almost like a forest of life, growing up with all of these fruits that are to be eaten and shared together. And it's like what Eden was supposed to be like, except even better than Eden, but also it's got the development of civilization that has come since Eden in terms of the buildings and the structure. So it's not just a return to Eden, it's a return to the best of Eden, the best of human culture and civilization. The roads are meant to be walked on, perhaps traveled on, and vehicles, we don't know about that, but certainly at least to be walked on. And then it has these gates of the city, and people are coming in and outside of the gates. And I'm reading all this to my mother, and I'm thinking, this isn't like the heaven. I went to Bible college and seminary, great Bible college and seminary, but we only talked about the present heaven, the heaven you go to when you die.
Right.
What sometimes theologians call the intermediate heaven.
Yes.
And that's where, okay, grandma dies, she goes to heaven.
Yeah.
Now she's with the Lord. Well, okay, that's right. And Paul says that's better by far. It's wonderful. I don't in any way minimize the wonders of the present heaven. Great place. But what we need to understand is that's not the ultimate heaven, because the ultimate heaven comes after the resurrection, where God in Revelation 21:3 says 3 times, I will come down to earth, this new earth, and I will dwell there with my people. I will dwell with them, they shall be my people, and I shall be with them. I'll dwell in their midst. And then it says in Revelation 22, the throne of God and the throne of the Lamb are there. Well, what is heaven? Heaven is where God dwells centrally. God's omnipresent. He dwells everywhere. But there's a certain place He chooses to dwell centrally, and that's where His throne is. So we know that what God is saying in Revelation 21 is He creates new heavens and new earth, and now He's going to bring His throne down to, and He is going to dwell and be present with His people on the new earth forever. So it will be heaven on earth. Now, we can't make heaven on earth. So somebody hears the phrase, a Christian hears the phrase heaven on earth, you go, well, there's never going to be heaven on earth because we can't bring that. Well, we can't bring it about, but God can, and that's His promise. And think about the Lord's Prayer. What's been prayed more often in all human history than the Lord's Prayer? Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. God is going to answer that prayer on the new earth.